Psalm 49. Written in the wisdom tradition, this psalm reminds us that death comes to all, rich and poor, and that wealth provides no protection from death. The psalm also reminds us that those who trust in themselves and their wealth are doomed, whereas the righteous are sure that God will rescue and save them from the power of death. The foolishness of trusting in riches. Hear this, everyone. Listen, all people everywhere, great and small alike, rich and poor together. My thoughts will be clear. I will speak words of wisdom. I will turn my attention to proverbs and explain their meaning as I play the harp. I am not afraid in time of danger when I am surrounded by enemies, by evil people who trust in their riches and boast of their great wealth. We can never redeem ourselves. We cannot pay God the price for our lives because the payment for our human life is too great. What we could pay would never be enough to keep us from the grave, to let us live forever. Anyone can see that even the wise die, as well as the foolish and stupid. They all leave their riches to their descendants. Their graves are their homes forever, where there they stay for all time. Though they once had lands of their own, our greatness cannot keep us from death. We will die like the animals. See what happens to those who trust in themselves, the fate of those who are satisfied with their wealth. They are doomed to die like sheep, and death will be their shepherd. The righteous will triumph over them, as their body quickly decay, in the world of the dead far from their homes. But God will rescue me. He will save me from the power of death. Don't be upset when someone becomes rich, when his wealth grows even greater. He cannot take it with him when he dies. His wealth will not go with him to the grave. Even if someone is satisfied with his life and is praised because he is successful, he will join all his ancestors in death, where the darkness lasts forever. Our greatness cannot keep us from death. We will die like the animal. So that verse is a complete contrast. So the people who trust in themselves, death will be their shepherd, whereas people who trust in God, then Jesus will be their shepherd, and death is death and Jesus is life. Jesus gives life and the resurrection from death. So, and then not only that, there's a verse where it says that in death the darkness lasts forever, but Jesus is light and God is light, and in him there is no darkness. So it's a complete contrast. And while no one can snatch anyone away from Jesus, from God, Jesus can raise people from death. So it shows that Jesus and God is greater than death. Die like an animal. As I read this psalm, I think that it's very true, and just how many people don't know this wisdom, don't understand it, and I actually fall into it too. Like, instead of being grateful for what God has given me and just trusting that He will care and provide, I get worried and I try to work or like I try to do things that I know right now is like not the right time for it yet, and I spend my time looking for those like stuff instead of like just seeing his provision and being okay with his provision, even though his provision is like kind of like a daily provision. So that is something. And but then he don't only give me daily provision, he gives like good gifts too. He gives like blessings on our investments, and so like it's enough, but then sometimes I don't feel like it's enough, and so instead of spending time on things for like that will not perish, that won't like be destroyed, I get kind of like gravitated to things that will be destroyed. So it's like a clear, I guess, warning, reminder from God. So I can learn from this psalm that just to be trusting in God is enough, and that don't like don't be focused on the things of this world, especially riches, because it cannot save. We know that only God can save, and that that if we don't want to just die like an animal and stay in forever darkness, then put our trust and live for God. Amen. This is good.